Most people will never escape the prison of their own minds. They'll spend the majority of their waking moments in thoughts of the future or thoughts of the past. They'll be in conversation with others, conversation with themselves, in auditory babble, in visual images of themselves doing things in the future, replaying things that they have done in the past, and pretty much doing everything except being fully aware of what's actually happening right here and right now. Just by showing up, just by playing this audio file, just by coming to calmingbreath.com, just by having an interest in meditation, you've done more than 99.999% of the people on this planet will ever do. Well done. So stress affects everyone. Stress can manifest through a vast range of experience. On the one hand, we have the vague dis-ease with life, that kind of unsettling disquiet with our existence, the feeling that there should be something more, that there has to be something more to life. At the other end of the spectrum, we have chest-constricting, panic-filled, horrific levels of anxiety that unfortunately cripple the lives of many, many people. The good news is that at whatever level you experience stress, it is not solid and it is not unmovable, despite what it looks like and despite what you may think. With practice and a little time, you can learn to systematically deconstruct stress as it arises, a happy side effect of which is a decrease in your base level of stress, the kind of stress that is always somewhere in the background during your day, but also a diminishing in the way that you experience your acute stressful episodes. When the kids are kicking off and you're trying to make the dinner, those things become less stressful. When your boss is putting you under pressure at work and you have other things to be doing and time is running out, that situation becomes less stressful. So how do we deconstruct stress? Well, it's helpful to remember that stress is not solid. Stress is made up of negative mental talk, negative images, and emotional body sensations. None of these components are particularly troublesome by themselves. Trouble starts when emotional body sensations, negative mental images, and negative mental talk combine to produce stress. We deconstruct that stress by keeping very precise track of each of these components. Let me give you a practical example that Shinzen Young likes to use. Let's say that you have a stressful episode that comprises of some physical pain, emotional body sensations, some negative mental images, and negative mental talk. Let's further say that all four of those components are totally kicking off, that they are all maxed out at 10. You then have 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 equaling 10,000. So your experience is pretty much unbearable. By keeping precise track of each of those components, using the skills that we'll be developing over the next few weeks in this course, you will be able to take those components and rob them of their ability to multiply. You'll be left with 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, 40, which is a far, far more manageable situation to be in. In order to keep precise track of the components that make up our stress, we'll be developing 3 core skills: concentration, sensory clarity, and equanimity. Concentration is simply the ability to focus on whatever is relevant right now. Sensory clarity is the ability to distinguish between the components that make up our reality very precisely on a moment-to-moment basis. And equanimity is the ability to neither push nor pull at those experiences, a kind of non-reactive, accepting awareness of what is. If you've ever had an experience where all of a sudden time slows down and your awareness of the things going on around you becomes extremely clear and bright, you may have experienced something like this in perhaps a life-threatening situation, perhaps sports of some kind, or even in a video game. And a short period where you've been able to be highly focused and highly effective. If you have experienced something like that, then you know what I mean when I say a high state of concentration. If you've ever had an experience where your senses suddenly become very clear, bright, and precise, then you have an idea of what I mean when I say a high state of sensory clarity. And if you've ever had a really hard time with emotions or physical pain or mental anguish to the point where you've said, you know what, I give up. And all of a sudden that letting go, that letting be of whatever the problem may have been, has caused a dramatic decrease in the suffering and the stress surrounding that problem. Perhaps it's even vanished. Then you have a good idea of what I mean by a high state of equanimity. With practice, you can experience high degrees of concentration, high degrees of sensory clarity, and a high state of equanimity whenever you want. Think about that. Whenever you want, you can concentrate on whatever you deem relevant right now, right at this moment. Whenever you want, you can be extremely aware of the components that make up your experience. And whenever you want, whether it be during an unpleasant experience, which you want to diminish and take away the stress, or from a pleasurable experience, which you want to experience more fully and more satisfyingly, you can experience a high state of equanimity whenever you want. You'll be developing these skills in your meditations, but eventually you will be able to apply these skills to every aspect of your life. The result of such practice is a significant decrease in both your acute stressful episodes and your base level of stress, and a significant increase in your happiness and fulfillment in life.